Alrighty. Good morning, everybody. Good morning, everybody. And welcome to the Morning Cup of Joe O. This is Johnny Lo taking over for Joe. Joe actually was with Frank yesterday. The two top producers went up to Stamford, Connecticut to have a little powwow in corporate, go over some directional changes, some things that are going on up there with our messaging. I think they had to do some video recording and just generally let their voices be heard. It's the one thing I love about Viridian. I've been with the company for 5.5 years, and Michael listens. It's a great thing to have the type of connection and the type of communication we have with our corporate office, where they will listen to the field and disseminate the information that needs to be heard, listen to it, and actually make some changes. And that's what we're going on right now. I just can't tell you how exciting it is to be 5.5 years later to see this company go where it's going. And it's been challenging. It's like anything else, It's almost like my Mets last night, right? I'm a huge Met fan. I don't want to rub it in anyone's face. I'm not that type of guy. If you're a Met fan, you suffer for a long time. Mets were in the big dance in 1986, and then they lost to the Yankees in 2000. So it's been 15 years. It's a long time. And you always talk about sports analogies. You hear people do it all the time with life because it's an easy analogy. It's very easy to use sports analogies and relate them to something that's going on in your world. People do it all the time. So let's just talk about the Mets for a second. 3 years ago, the Mets were in the bottom of the barrel. I mean, they were laughing stock. I mean, they were just a bad team, and it was tough watching them. And if you're a fan and you watch baseball, my cousin and I would talk about it all the time, and we would say, you know what, they're unwatchable, and that's tough, And a few things happened. And one real important thing happened in 2012. The Mets had a pitcher, knuckleball pitcher, R.A. Dickey. Some of you baseball fans know R.A. Dickey was an AL pitcher, pitched in the American League, came over to the Mets in 2010, and he was, for the most part, pretty mediocre. If you look at his stats throughout his career, in 2003 he was 9-8, and 6-7, and 1-2, and 5-8, and 1-1. Well, with the Mets, he was 11-9 first year. The second year was 8-13. But in 2012, at the age of 37, he was lights out. He was 20-6. And the reason this is so important is because they made a huge trade with the Toronto Blue Jays and got rid of R.A. Dickey. A lot of Mets fans were like, what are you doing? This guy's unhittable. He's great. They're 20-6, and you're going to let go of this guy? And they get rid of R.A. Dickey, and they get Noah Syndergaard. He was only like 20 years old, 21 years old at the time. Yeah, 20. Flamethrower. They call him Thor. He's going to pitch Friday night, tomorrow night. Guy's a beast. I think he's going to be one of the best pitchers the Mets have ever had in their rotation ever. And they got Travis d'Arnaud, a huge piece of the puzzle. So the analogy we always make is with our company is, well, that was then. Think about Viridian 3 years ago. And think about where we are right now. Think about where the Mets were 3 years ago. And think about where they are right now. They're in the big dance. They're in the big game. And even though they're down 0-2, I think this young, resilient team is going to bounce back. Very similar to this young, resilient CEO and young, resilient company. We have so many things right now to offer the world. And I really think it's a revolution. I don't look at where we are and just think we're just another company and we're just a network marketing company and we just offer energy. No, we're part of global change. We are part of this movement to get away from really destructive behaviors and put people into a more responsible energy product. And we are the stewards of that fine story. And it's just how are we gonna craft the story? How we're gonna approach people with it? with a little more confidence, with a little more swag, because that pays dividends. It pays off so much when you can come to someone with your chest out and with a tremendous amount of confidence that what we're doing is the right thing. What we're doing is really important, and we need to share it with people. And the problem is, you find it all the time. People just don't know what this thing is all about. The hardest part about getting our message across is to get the message across. We know we got a great message. We know we got a dynamite opportunity. We know the comp plan is where it is right now. It's crazy. We know that we can offer more than any other company right now because we've got a great value proposition in all territories. And just we've got the right people on the bus. You think about the analogy with the Mets 3 years ago, where they are now. They put the pieces to the puzzle together. And even this year, the trade deadline, they made the moves they had to bring the brilliant Kelly Johnson and Cespedes and all these right pieces to take them to where they are, which is in the World Series. I was goofing last week, actually, I was at their meeting down in Manhattan. Excuse me. And I made the analogy that we're going to the World Series. People laughed, but I said, 3 years ago, the Mets sucked. And maybe 2 or 3 years ago, Viridian, we were on hard times. We had some rate challenges. We had market challenges. But right now, we're going to the dance now. We're going to go to 250,000 associates. So every one of you are blessed to be where you are right now because you're in early. You're in on the ground floor of what we feel is the greatest opportunity of all time, hands down. 22,000 associates, 30,000 associates, compared to companies that have millions of associates. And to think about Excel, same analogy we can make for Viridian with Excel. Steve Smith told that story, and then Marty told it the other night. Marty Hale told it the other night. I didn't realize it was 4 years running when Steve Smith was making $350 a week, $1,400 a month. But then maybe 12 to 18 months later, he's making $35,000 a month. And the word got out that people were making some serious money with this company. And it just started to catch on. And you heard even Marty from Stage say it. You heard Steve Smith say it. Their value proposition wasn't even great. They didn't even have a great rate. Their long-distance service wasn't a great rate. And yet they grew to, close to 3 million associates with 25 million customers. It's ridiculous. Can you imagine Viridian, 25 million customers? I'll take 10% of that. I'll take 2.5 million customers. So it's about what was when and what's now. What happened then and what's happening now. It's put us in the right position. Michael had to make some really tough choices. Let some people go. Brought some new people in. I think the new people that are in the business are changing the philosophy of where we need to be, what we need to do to get us there. It wasn't going to happen in the old regime. Changes need to be made. And Joe on his call the other day was really hardcore with, you just got to get up and just get out. 95% of people are paying more for brand energy. Just think about that, please. Just how that kind of resonates with you. How do you interpret that? I interpret that as monster opportunity. That everybody's sleepwalking right now. They don't even know that they have a greener choice. And once they wake up to the fact that they can go green for less, they're going to jump all over it. That's why solar is the future. I mean, really, you look at the solar thing, I don't know about you folks, but it's almost like people make an analogy with the car. They say, did you ever think about a car that you wanted, and you never thought about it before, and all of a sudden you saw it, and you said, God, I want to get one of those. That car is so hot, and all of a sudden, for the next 2 months, all you see is that car, constantly. Before, you never noticed it, and now you see it all the time. And that's exactly what I'm seeing with solar. Got into the solar game, and now it's just starting to happen. You see NRT commercials, and I'm seeing Sunrun vans. I'm seeing Solar City vans and Trinity Solar and, Longevity now we're partnered with. I mean, we're on to something magical. We're seeing it's just starting to pop up, but we're, it's again, 1% market share, 600,000 installations in over 60 million homes. So that should be a big focus of where you want to take your business. Now, I want to share something with you. A couple weeks ago, Joe spoke at Go Pro Mastery in Vegas, and I really wasn't going to go. I kind of got some family stuff I'm dealing with and wanted to stay close to the nest, but I really didn't want to miss this. It's a huge opportunity for him to represent us. And there were 8,000 people there in Vegas at the Mirage. And I went to the event last year and was totally blown away. And then when Joe came out with this second book, I'll Never Do Network Marketing, he just got invited by Eric, gave him a copy, and Eric said, well, why don't you speak? Love to have you for, 20 minutes. So he was slotted in on Thursday night for 20 minutes, and it was so funny because we had gone to the earlier sessions, got to see Bob Proctor, got to see, Eric do his thing, and I was really pumped. I'm always pumped at these events because there's 8,000 network marketers. It's just generic. No one is talking their company. No one's talking up recruiting. No one's handing out business cards. It's 8,000 like-minded people that are in the best industry on the planet, and they're all there to learn. And Joe was going to be on the biggest stage. Tony Robbins was there. I mean, forget about Kiyosaki. You're talking about huge, huge names. And Joe had an opportunity for 20 minutes to do his thing. So we were watching the Mets-Dodgers game. It's funny. We're in the bar downstairs watching the game. It was a 2-2 game, real pivotal game because it was Game 5. It was a deciding game of the NLDS. And Joe was going to go on. So we left the area, and like a little entourage, we walked into the event, and Joe went backstage around 6:45, maybe 6:50, did his thing. And then he went on and absolutely crushed it. I mean, he knocked it out of the park. I don't know if you guys saw it on stream and video, but you saw the recording of it. But he just represented us in such an awesome way. Yeah, you have the number one money earner coming on stage and saying, "Well, who the hell am I?" People are looking at me like Joe Occhiogrosso, this big Italian last name. What company are you with? What do you do? How are you a leader in this business? How did you make all this money? What did you do? And he told a story about Wall Street and how, just he looked at this industry like it was one of those things. Oh, God, they got you. No, you're hawking some product, and they got you. Oh, you're in a cult. And you look down on it, it's laughable. And all that changed some years ago when he decided this was a legit model. This is probably the most streamlined model to market, to get the word out. And you look at all the other energy market companies out there right now. How are they getting their word out? I say this time and time again. You need to say this to your prospects. You need to just say, first and foremost, you guys don't get it. Let me just tell you something. There are companies out there that market energy and solar. And how are they marketing their product? They're marketing their product through traditional avenues. They've got commercials on TV. Some of them are doing billboard advertising. Most of them have a door-knocking campaign. Many of them are using telemarketers. A lot of them use direct mailers. And we know for a fact that that's just not an effective way to market. I can tell you honestly, every one of you on the phone, do you pick the phone up for a telemarketer and hang out on the phone for 20 minutes and just chat away and then buy everything they have to sell? Probably never. When a stranger knocks on your door, do you go, "Oh my God, I've been waiting for you all week to come. Come on, sit down, stranger. Let me make you some coffee. Tell me what you're selling. I'm really interested in what you got to sell." No. You probably never buy from a stranger at your door. Junk mail? Get junk mail? Do you rifle through it? Do you read it, open up every piece of mail you get and read the fine print and then make a phone call and call the company? No. You don't do it. It's almost silly. We look at it, it's the biggest waste of money. So this is the right marketing strategy. We know that. And what I got out of, besides seeing Joe, absolutely so proud to be a dear friend, a close friend of Joe's, took me to Italy last year for my 50th birthday. I've known Joe for 20-something years, sang at his wedding 23 years ago. We had this relationship. So I was very proud, tears in my eyes, to see him crush it, to represent us, standing ovation, just really phenomenal. But the message I want to leave with you, I want to end with this, is that Bob Proctor put up two quotes during his lecture. If you've ever seen Bob Proctor, he's an author of You Were Born Rich. He's really a disciple of Earl Nightingale. I got turned on to Bob Proctor when I was doing Nikken. And Nikken, I don't know if some of you guys know, some of you folks know, but Nikken is a Japanese company that sells magnetic mattresses, insoles. They're called Mag Boys. And it's all about this technology that allows your cells to function optimally, because we're electrochemical, and the concept is to just get that energy flowing through these magnets. So I got turned on to the magnets. They actually worked for me. I put the Mag Boys in my shoes. Work with the Mag Boys on my shoulder, put the insoles in my shoes, and they actually worked. Guess what the buy-in was? Now think about it. I just came back from GoPro Mastery. And just heard from Bob Proctor, who is one of the best public speakers. And he's just a brilliant mind. You might remember him from The Secret. Guy's been around for years. You had to see him. He's 80, turning 82, and you had to see him on stage. Just the guy exudes energy, passion, power. Amazing. But it brought me back to my Nikken days. And I looked at that room filled with people, network marketers, who were selling seaweed wraps, who were selling vitamins, who were selling, legal services, selling, products and skin creams and this and that. And I think about how much money I invested in Nikken. My initial order with Nikken was $5,000. $5,000 for my starter kit. That's what I invested. What was my initial investment with Viridian? $399. Go out and get my Fast Start bonus back in the day. It was $300. Got most of my money back. Today, we can sign someone up for $299. They get their first revolution in 24 hours. They need 2/3 of their money back. If you want more revolution, they're in the black. So you don't have to worry about getting your initial investment back. So I'm looking at all these people, and I almost felt bad. I really did. Joe said this last year. I almost felt bad that they're doing what they're doing, and God bless them. I don't want to knock any other company, but I really feel like we've got the magic sauce, and we've got the best story, we've got the best product, and now we've got the best comp plan. Can't compete with that. So getting back to those quotes, put these quotes on the board, on the big jumbotron, and it's by Eric Hoffer. And this really applies to our messaging. This totally applies to who we're speaking to. Think about this. It says, in times of change, the learners will inherit the earth, while the learned find themselves beautifully equipped to deal with a world that no longer exists. It's exactly where we are right now. The learners, us, people that are paying attention to what's going on in energy, paying attention to what's going on with our economy, our environment. And we're putting all these three things together and saying we've got a better way, we've got a platform and a vehicle to take you from total misery into some life-fulfilling stuff where you can actually empower other people to make change. And what do we talk about? Individual choice, collective impact. It's almost like voting in an election. Someone saying, I'm not going to vote. My vote doesn't count. And guess what? Every Viridian customer has led to a reduction of 5 billion pounds of CO2 emissions. So it does make an impact. The customer, one associate at a time. The next quote is awesome. Same thing, Eric Hoffer, same guy. To learn, we need a certain degree of confidence. Not too much, but not too little. If we have too little, we will think that we can't learn. If we have too much, we will think we will have to learn. And boy, man, is that spot on for some of you, the people that you're talking to? We call them Ikes. Vinny Lamantia turned me on to that. Vinny Lamantia told me, Ike. He said, I know everything. I love that acronym. I know everything. See, people that think they know it really don't know anything. They just don't know the deal. They just think they know. And Bob Proctor said, the problem is you don't know what you don't know. But the bigger problem is you don't know it. So think about it. Sounds silly, simple, but you don't know what you don't know. So if you don't take the time and open your mind enough and quiet your mind and just say, all right, I'm really going to listen to this. I really want to see what Viridian's all about. They're never going to get the messaging. See, you don't know what you don't know, but you really don't know it. You think you know it, but you don't know it. So our biggest challenge moving forward is to get that message across to as many people as we can, but not just everybody. They're going to be the ones that they can't learn, and they're insecure, and they got their own things, and that's okay. This isn't for them. They don't like talking. This is way too out of the box for them. And those are the people we're looking for. They really are. We're not looking for everybody, because you know what it's like bringing in just anybody and having them do nothing. Who the hell wants that in your Viridian life? You don't want that in your business. You don't want to have to micromanage adults. It's brutal. Trust me. I know you know. I'm speaking to the choir, right? But you want those people that want to learn and say, you know what, really, this stuff is intriguing. Paying attention to the solar thing. I read an article the other day. I'm hearing about this. Those are the people we want to get this information in front of. But you don't know what you don't know. Most importantly, so our job is just to go out there and share it. Again, 95% of our deregulated markets, people are paying more for brown energy. You've got the story, you've got the vehicle, you've got the comp plan. There is no secret sauce, folks. I'm sorry. I wish I could tell you, man. There's some magical thing that some people are doing that's working and other people aren't. The reality is they're working. That's all it is. They're working. Marty said it the other night. It's network marketing, not work marketing. It really comes down to you just going absolutely laser focused the next 18 to 24 months. Put your blinders on. Don't listen to anyone and go to work and show the plan. It's that simple. Make it a wonderful day, guys. Thanks for having me. I hope you all have a wonderful weekend, and we'll see you soon. Take care.